Today I am making Pico de Gallo. This is another Chili's recipe because I worked at Chili's and I fell in love with Pico de Gallo. So I've already started dicing some things. So your base is your tomatoes. So we're gonna dice it. So the way I do this is I chop it in half, and then, and remember, when you're cutting, you have your knife like this. You go like this, you're gonna accidentally cut off your finger. So slice it into thin slices, however thin you want. Right now I'm just slicing it about quarter to half inch, and then rotate it so that you can go the opposite direction, and then you dice it all the way through. If you have a super tall tomato, I guess this will be a little long, but this tends to work. So I'm going to, and really, when we made this recipe, I think it started with 25 pounds of tomatoes, and then we added other stuff. So I make however much I want for what I think I'm going to use, because the tomatoes, because they're juicy, tend to make it very liquid, and so making it kind of as you need it works a little better. So I have my diced tomatoes. I've already diced some onions. I've used yellow onions, but you could use red onions or white onions. The yellow or the red tend to have a little bit more flavor. So we'll put some in there. And I'm terrible about portions. I will put on a recipe a good portion. I'm kind of a visual maker of stuff like this, because you want some tomatoes or some onions, but you want it to be the bulk of tomatoes. So the next thing you're gonna add is jalapeno. So be careful with the seeds, because whatever is on your hands, the oils from the seeds, if you happen to touch your eyes, you're gonna be miserable. So I will chop off the stem first, and so that is going to go aside. Then you're going to cut it long ways in half, which is going to expose all the seeds. So sometimes I've done this with gloves on so that I don't have to worry about thoroughly washing, but what you can do is cut a V on both sides to get the bulk of, like, the inside gutting and then the seeds out. If you leave seeds in, it's going to make it really spicy. Jalapenos by themselves already have a little bit of a kick, so it just kind of depends. If you really, I don't use the seeds, but if you want the seeds in this, go for it. So I'm going to do the same on the other side, and if you notice, I'm actually kind of cutting into my hand, so this is something you need to be very careful about if you're going to cut like this, that you do not cut deep or slide, because I'm cutting towards my hand, which is a big no-no. So I know there's probably a better way to clean this out, but this is how I've been cleaning it. So I'm gonna wipe off all the extra seeds off of my knife, and then you're going to dice the even smaller, this jalapeno. So I'm gonna slice it the long ways. And don't forget, keep your fingers tucked in. So my slices are about this long. So then I'm gonna turn it sideways so that I can cut all of them together. It saves time to cut like this. And this is one of those, cut it however big or little you want. So if you do not want to be overwhelmed by some spiciness, I would say cut it into smaller bits. So this will go in there as well. And probably put a little too many jalapenos in there, but you can still see the bulk of it is red. My last vegetable ingredient is cilantro, and I think that one's toast. So I have a fresh bundle. So it comes in the grocery store with the wrap on it. You don't really need to take it out. So all I do is lay it down on the cutting board and just start thinly slicing. Cilantro is one of those things that's real particular. Some people really love the taste and some can't stand it. I had never had it before I worked at Chili's, and I have become a fan. It brings such good flavor, and sometimes if you have flavor, you don't need as many other, like, salt, or you don't need as many salad dressings, much salad dressing, because you have so much flavor. So kind of mix that up, and I'm going to step outside of this to go grab some lime juice. So I could squeeze a fresh lime, but I don't usually have them on hand. And this lime juice you can find, it looks like a lime. It's juice, so you can find it in the produce aisle. There's lemon juice as well. So I'll squeeze a little bit in there, just to give it a little bit of flavor. Mix it all up, and you've got Pico de Gallo. There's different ingredients you could probably put in here, but this is kind of my base. I loved it instead of just plain tomatoes on my salads because all the other ingredients give it some extra flavor. So, but this can go as a garnish. It can go mixed into things. You can use it as a dip. I put it into my guacamole. So kind of sky is open as far as what you want to do with it.